Yeah.
Start.
So our first question is like magical string, and a magical string consists of only one and two and obeys the following rules. This is magical because concatenating the number of contiguous occurrences of one and two generates the string as itself. The first few elements of the string will be like this, you can see. And if we group the consecutive ones and twos in S, it will be in this fashion. One and then two are one, and so on and so forth. And occurrences of this in each group is this. You can see that occurrence sequence above is the S itself. So given an integer input, return the number of ones in the first n number in the magical string S. Okay, power S. Yeah. So n won't exceed your 10k, right? So like if input is 6, then the first 6 elements of this are this, where ones and twos are grouped, and it contains 3 ones, so we return 3. Yeah, we have to return the number of ones in the, what is it, the string that we found. So what should be the brute force? Am I audible?
Well, yeah, you are audible. Everything is fine. Okay, but will there be a brute force? I don't think so. There will be only one way to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like whatever they are saying, just keep on concatenating and just check whether
Right.
what's
So,
the number. Yeah.
we might have to construct this string and then do a counting of one. That will be fine. But just to constructing the string itself is a bit challenging, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even the problem statement is not so clear about
Hmm.
how the string is formed.
Yeah.
That's why.
So
Too
the,
much of dislikes.
so just what we have to do is we have to look at this string, whatever they have given, and then we have to assume some pattern, right? It's a very crude way of understanding.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, not. I mean, we are not able to support the intuition.
Mhm. Maybe in this
Yeah,
case it will be a
since
discussion with the interviewer more, right?
since the rule which they have mentioned, using that rule, we can generate more than one unique string. So the string which we generate won't be always unique.
Mm, really?
Yeah,
See, if
so
we
there are
generate a size
two.
of 6, that will always be the same, you know? Is it not?
Yeah, but if we take our first number as 2, then our string will be different. But here they have considered it as 1 as the starting number of the sequence. So in that way,
Okay.
we can get more than one sequence if
Permutation.
we consider both the inputs which we have been given.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there will be a strictness to be followed in this. Okay, no problem. So now, whatever we have, we don't have any options, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
if we start with that, how do we do, like, any
Yeah.
thoughts on it?
Yeah, so since the only rule which they have mentioned is this one, which is the string S is magical because concatenating the number of contiguous occurrence of character 1 and 2 generates the string S itself. So we need to keep track of the uh, individual length of the contiguous sequence which have the same character. Then we will get the same string if we follow the given rule.
Mm,
You
could
want
you
to
elaborate a bit
yeah, you
more?
can share. It will make more sense.
Okay, I'll try to use the whiteboard again here. So let's take our given string to be only these three characters, which are the first three characters. And now we can use a frequency string which will keep track of the frequency of the contiguous sequence with same characters. So, for example, here the frequency string will look like this. Since one has only so the character 1 as occurrence only once in the contiguous sequence here, so we can take it as 1.
Mhm.
And since these two have, so there are two occurrences of 2 again here, so we
Mhm.
can take the frequency as 2. Now what they have mentioned is, that both this S and F are equal.
Mhm.
So anyways, when we are generating our S, we can copy it directly in our F or the
Oh.
frequency string.
Mhm.
So, and specifically since they have mentioned that the numbers which we can use is 1 and 2 only,
Mhm.
so we have some bound on what are the characters we can use in our final string. So if we just copy the string itself in our frequency string, we will get this string again. Now if we look at this closely, this one corresponds to this one. This two corresponds to the continuous twos which we have in our string. Now this 2 is left. So uh, what character or what number we add in our final string such that we'll get uh, a contiguous sequence of length 2 with same characters. So here if we use again we have two twos, then the contiguous count would become 4. But we need the contiguous count to be 2 only, so we can just add here 1. Now
Mhm.
this 2 corresponds to these two ones.
Mhm.
Now, since at each step we can just copy our string to the frequency string, so these ones will get appended. Now, we have already processed till this part, and then we have to process these two characters. So again, since we have only two characters to choose from, we will append here 2, and then again we have only one, so the contiguous sequence length has to be only 1, so we can add
Oh.
here
Okay.
1,
Yeah.
and then similarly we just copy it and then keep doing the process until the size becomes n.
Mhm.
So this is what we have to do here in this question, what they have specifically mentioned.
Perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, so at each step we just keep track of the, so we can keep track of this pointer, and this pointer will tell us how many characters we need to add in our final string. For example, here we only have to add 1 1. When we come here, we see that we have already used a character 1, and now we need another sequence of length 2, so we can use the other character which we have, which is 2. So this 2 will correspond to this 2. Now we increment our pointer. Here will come to 2. We see that we need a sequence of length 2 with with one of the characters, but we see that 2 is already used in the previous sequence, so we can use 1 here. And then
Correct.
we can just increment our pointer. So this is what we have to do. And then this question just becomes implementation question, where we just have to implement this particular algorithm.
Perfect. But this explanation, what you said about S and F, constructing an F out of S, that's not
Yeah.
evident from the question problem statement.
Yeah, but
Is it?
the
Or
thing
did I
which they
miss
have
something?
mentioned, yeah, here they have specifically mentioned that the occurrences of ones and two in each group are 1 2 1 2, and you can see that the occurrence sequence above is the S itself. So the frequency of the contiguous sequence of same characters is the given string itself.
Right, right. Okay. So that is from that you
So
extrapolated all
this
of
is how
this.
we can get, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense.
So, if so, since they have specifically mentioned that the string will look something like this, 1 2 2,
Mm-hmm.
but there, so this is one of general sequence. So this string can either start with 2 also, since they have said that we can use either of 1 and 2. So if this string would have started with 2, then then the string would look like something like this, and then the frequency would look something like this. So since they have mentioned 2 here, so we would need 2 anyways, and then we can just copy the 2, and then we can add this once. and then this process will continue. So this 2 corresponds to this continuous 2s, and this 2 corresponds to this continuous 1s. So this is how there can be more than one unique sequence here. But in this question, since they have specifically mentioned that we can use this pattern, which is 1 to 2, so we can start with our code with this sequence itself.
Hmm. But even if we start the other one, we can actually make only two different strings, right? One is starting with one, and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
is starting with two, right?
Yeah, so we can get two string here, but the final answer would differ if we take this as our initial
Absolutely.
string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that only part we need to get it clarified before start implementing, or
Yeah,
else
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's going to be it's not going to be
Yes.
very different, right? Yeah.
So we can start our code with this initial string, and then
Hmm.
we can just generate the further characters in the final string.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I go with my code implementation, I've done the same thing. I've uh, taken this 1 to 2 as my initial string, and then the pointer which I pointed in our the frequency string, I've set it to left. Now this left is pointing to this 2, since this 1 and 2 is already covered here in our initial string, or the
Hmm.
frequency is already covered. Now the frequency of this 2 is not covered,
Hmm.
so we will start with this index here, which is the last one in my initial string. Now till the point where my size of the string does not go till n, so this might happen that my size of the string will go more than n, because at one point I am adding either one character or two characters. So this might happen that the size becomes after the whole code is run, it would be n plus 1 or either n itself. So anyways, I just need n length string, and then I can just count my ones in my final string. So here I will first check what is the previous character,
Hmm.
and then if my previous character is 2, then I will set my current character to 1. Since so this is the logic, since it is 2 here, so now the current character has to be 1. Otherwise, if I add 2 again in my here, so I add 2 again here, then this frequency would be disturbed. So this
Hmm.
is why I need to keep track of the previous character, which can be done in C++ by using the dot back of the string. Now, otherwise, I can just set my current character to 2.
Hmm.
Now, uh, I have to initialize another string which would have length either 2 or 1. So how do I determine the length? The length would be determined by the left pointer itself. So this pointer's determined what would be the length of my next string. So since here it is mentioned 2, so the length of the next sequence would be 2. So this is how this is what my left pointer is doing here. And now I know what is the current character I have to choose. So I'll just put current character in my constructor and add it to my final string. And then I'll just increment my left pointer. So if my pointer is at 1, I'll just move it to this one.
Hmm.
So this S is just acting as f here, and I don't need to construct another f string here,
You're right.
which is the frequency. And at last, I just need to count the character 1. So this is a C++ uh, built-in function, which here I've taken the initial iterator of the string s, and then the final iterator would be the initial iterator plus the length of the string, which is n. And then I just need to count 1. And this is what we have to do in the questionnaire, where they have mentioned return the number of ones in the final first n number in the magical string s.
Yeah, makes sense. You could have counted the one itself in the while loop also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing.
Because you have done everything right, so
yeah.
that you could have just increment. Yeah, no problem. But this is good.
Yeah, so I will share one more implementation, since this here we need to, anyways, we need to keep track of the left pointer. Otherwise, all this can be done in one or two line. So, uh, so here in the parameter itself, so in the parameter of the given function itself, I initialize my left pointer, and then
Hmm.
my initial string would be just same 122, and then I'll iterate until the length of the string becomes less greater than or equal to n, and then I will just add the current sequence in my string. So how do I get my current sequence? The length would be just the left pointer,
Mm-hmm.
and then after I've taken the length, I have to increment my left pointer. So this is why what I plus plus is doing. It is just post incrementing the left pointer, and then I just need this current value. So the current value would be the last character in my string, the last character of the string, and then I have to choose if either if it is 2, I have to take 1. If it is 2, I no, if it is 2, I have to take 1. If it is 1, I have to take 2. So this can be done using this line. The reason is if the last character is 1, I'll just minus 1 from 3, so I'll get 2. Similarly, if the last character is 2, I'll just minus 2 from 3, so I'll get 1. So this is just like inverting the current characters by just decrementing it with 3.
Yeah.
And then I have to just make it a character. So this plus the ASCII value of character 0 is added. And then at last, I just need to return the count similar in the previous implementation.
Now this becomes very simple implementation as well as you can understand very clearly, right?
Yeah.
Single variable.
Yeah. And he has implemented the Python way now, right, Shashank?
Of course, yeah, 3 minus as well.
Anyways, we just have to find how this frequency of the contiguous sequence is working, and then we can construct our final string in any sort of manner.
Yep, that's good. Yeah. Yep, thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, here it same like what Abhishek explained that 3. So this one, right? I mean,
Okay.
initial I'm starting with this 1 to 2, and this is our end. We start from here. IDX is 2. Now, as long as your length of s is less than n, we do the 3 minus. If the previous character is 1, so 3 minus 1 will be 2. So you multiply, you append that character those many times. And if it is 2, 3 minus 2, you append 1, and you increase the index, right? And at last, just take first n till n you take, because n is the valid length of the string, and just it will count the number of ones present in it.
Okay. Okay. So on your line 6, you say s minus 1, that is going to be the back one, right?
Previous one, yeah, immediate.
Okay. And then you, because that will be a character and you're subtracting that from 3, which looks to me as a number in
Yeah,
integer.
2. Yeah.
So that mixed types are always all allowed here. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then we can just concat those many times you repeat it and then add it to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's the same thing like what
Yeah.
Abhishek did.
Right. Yeah, this becomes a very simple implementation. But the way the first implementation was Abhishek said also, and most of the places it's there almost, right? Different variations of it. But that becomes more what you say interview implementation, right? Because coming to this will be slightly difficult. That is why he said it was the second implementation. So the first would be the way he explained.
If the back is 2, you put 1.
Yeah.
Other people it is 2.
So always look for the back value, and then go and do that many frequency of that particular the next character, whatever you have, like just toggle it, whichever character you found at that place.
Yeah.
So somewhat comes to like a Fibonacci series, or
Kind of, yeah.
that is what they have described in many places in discussions also. But it's not so easy to come up with though.
No.
But as he explained it, now it makes more sense, correct?
Yeah. That's true.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
So this is
next.
good, yeah.
So this is like two keys keyboard. So initially on a notepad, only one character A is present, and you can perform 2 operations on this notepad for each step. Copy, you can copy all characters present on the notepad. Partial copy is not allowed. And paste is like you can paste the characters which are copied last time. Okay. And given a number n, you have to get exactly NA on the notepad by performing the minimum number of steps permitted. And output is minimum number of steps to get NA, right? So initially your character is A itself, right? So in step 3 steps they are given. So step 1 you will copy and step 2 you will paste it, right? And again we'll copy this and we'll paste this. So it will boil down to, what do you say? It will overlap, right? Because two-way it will copy and then paste it in the third. So no.
It is to do an exact copying.
Exact copying, yeah.
Right. So in this case, what he will do is, for if you already have two A's, that is what you came up with, right? In the second step. So
Yeah.
you need a single A, so you can take a single A from the previous step, isn't it?
Yeah, because that time only you copied single A only, right? So after that you didn't copy, so you have triple A only. It will be.
Yeah, basically what this is doing is you want to copy A, right? So you copy that once, right? And then you
Yeah.
paste it. So then the digit will become from base original A plus the new one that you pasted,
Okay.
right? And then again you did another paste of the same one.
Okay,
So that, yeah, the first zeroth element is the original element, and the first element is the step 2, and the third element is step 3.
No, that's why 3
So
is
it's like how in string builder we are appending, right?
Okay.
We are
So
appending at the end. Once you take copy, you're just adding it.
okay. So Praveen, are you saying that in this case, this will be step 1's A, or maybe the original A, right? Okay. And
Original,
sorry. So
yeah,
this will be the original A if I call it 0, and then this
exactly.
will be the step 1's A here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
the
in
one
this
that we
case,
copied it.
right.
Step 1, yes.
So here in this first, this will be original A, and this will be the second step. Is it like that?
Yes, it's like that.
Makes sense.
So you have, so in the step 2, you have 0th element, which is the original one. One is the one that you pasted in step 2. And in step 3, you have 0, 1, which you got from the step 1, step 2. And the step 3 is the third element, the third AAA.
Yeah,
I thought it got copied like this. I mean, A, and next A got copied. So finally it boils down to A.
No,
can
take it
override,
as
yeah.
it as a clipboard where if we copy something, it remains in the clipboard. So the last A, which is pasted in the step 3, that is pasted from the clipboard part. Since we already
And that
copied,
is,
since we
yeah,
copied
that is
it in
added to
step
the
1.
end actually, suffix.
Yeah.
So here also, I think we have to simulate only, right? What they are saying.
Well, I think
Yeah,
exactly
so
the way both said, Praveen, Abhishek, exactly it is that way.
Yeah.
The clipboard way or whatever Praveen explained, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Abhishek.
yeah, so anyways, we need to minimize the number of steps. So this can be somewhat like, so we can opt for some recursive method where at each step we can try to minimize our total number of steps which we use. So either way, we have only two possible things to do. One would be just paste whatever is present in our clipboard. And the other would be first we copy all the things which are present in my string and then paste it back in the final string. So the string length would be doubled. But here we are doing two steps at a time. So, so after all the process is simulated, then we need to return what would be the minimum number of steps which we can perform. So that can be done recursively if we try to do it.
Yeah, because they have said a DP way in the problem statement also.
Yeah, so if I, yeah, so if, if there is two A's, and let's suppose in my clipboard there is one A present. So now if I need a string of length 3, I can just paste this thing here. So now the total number of steps which I needed to get this string of length 3 is whatever steps I needed to get uh, the string of this length -1 and then just +1, which is pasting this thing from the clipboard. Now, but imagine if I needed the string of length. So this is string of length 3, but if I needed string of length 4, what I could have done is, since I initially had string of length 2, I could have copied everything here. So now my clipboard would have both A's, and now I paste it back in my final string. So now I can get the string of length 4.
But is
But
it allowed to copy both of these together
yeah,
from the
there
clipboard?
is one operation which they have mentioned, which is copy all. So we can copy everything present in my string, which is this two A's.
But you see, your double A is in the clipboard, right? When your double A is in the clipboard, your original string will only have a single A, correct? No.
No.
Yeah, you will have two A's. Okay.
Yeah, first we would be having this C here in my so in my clipboard I would be having only one A. Now I perform copy all. So in my clipboard, these two A's will come. And then I can paste everything in my clipboard to my final string. So here, the total number of steps which I had to use is, if this uses S steps, then here I needed S plus 2 steps. So the reason 2, because first I had to copy it, and this will contribute to 1 step, and then I pasted it back. So here, this both will contribute to 2 steps. But here, if we see, if this string uses S steps, then my final string would take S plus 1 steps. And after I get this string, here I can see in my clipboard I have only one A present, and here in my clipboard I have two A's present. So further I can simulate the same process. If I need a string of length 5, what I could have done is, so if I need string of length 5, since I already have a string of length 3 here, I can just paste twice. So the same thing I will just so here these three A's will be already present. Now since I have one A present in my clipboard, I can just paste twice to get a string of length 4, and then I can paste once again. Now here I can get string of length 5, but if we look at this closely, when I have string of length 4, I can either get string of length 6. The reason is, either I paste whatever is present in my clipboard, or I can get a string of length 8. So the string of length 8 can be we can get it by first copying whatever is present in our string, and then just pasting it back. So if I need string of length 5, then this process won't give me string of length 5, but this process will give me string of length 5. So we can see how the recursive case will break down here. If at any instant, so from 4 I can get to 6 or 8, but I needed a string of length 5. So if I am at length 8, anyways I cannot get a string of length 5. Similarly, if I am at length 6, I cannot get a string of length 5. But when I am at string of length 3, I can either get a string of length 4, or yeah, I can either get a string of length 6 here. 6 because we can copy everything in the string A and then just paste it back. But when I have a string of length 4, I can see that the clipboard had only one A present. So here I can get a string of length 5. So here we can just terminate our process and we can just return whatever steps we needed to get a string of length 5.
Yeah, makes sense. So that is why we can use a recursive, and there will be a lot of sub problems, right? Overlapping.
Yeah, and we would be needing the length of the A present in our clipboard as well, since this is also needed for these two cases. Like here, when 6 was needed for the length of the final string, then we could just have pasted whatever is present in our clipboard.
Makes sense.
So the yeah, so the recursive solution will break down to let's see what will be the initial cases. So initially, the clipboard size would be 1. The reason it would be 1 because we start from the string of length 1, which they have mentioned. We have one string already present. So if I need anything more than if I need anything more than the size of this string, I have to copy anyways the whole string itself, since initially the clipboard would be empty. So we can consider the size of the clipboard initially to be 1, and the steps, since I already copied everything, so and it contributed to 1 step, so I can just set my number of steps to be 1. And the size of the string, uh, the size of the string is initially 1 only, and now we can just keep doing the process. So what would be the process? We can either just uh, double the size of the string, and the total number of steps we would be needing is the whatever step we took previously, and then 2, since if we are increasing the size by 2, we first need to copy everything in my clipboard and then add it again or paste it again, and my clipboard would become whatever the size of the initial string was. So this would be one of the possible ways, and another would be just add whatever is present in my clipboard. So in my clipboard, C length string is present, and here I would be needing only one step. So whatever initial steps which I needed was S, then here I would be needing one step more, and my clipboard does not change. So the size of the clipboard would be whatever size it was previously. Now out of these two, whenever whenever at one point when the size becomes whatever size we needed, we can just return our number of steps. And if it goes beyond the size, we can just return uh, anything which is larger than our final answer. So we can take it as int max. And out of this, for any recursive call, we can just take minimum of both the process.
Right. Yeah.
So this is what the recurrence relation will look like. And since the constraints are pretty slow or pretty small, we don't even need any memoization here. We can just write the recursive and it will pass.
Right.
So if I look at the recursive call, this is the size which we need, and this is the current size, which would be initially 1, and the answer, which would determine the number of steps, and the copy size. So the copy size is the size of the clipboard currently. Initially, the copy size would be 1. The answer would be 1, since so this step 1 where I copy everything from my initial string, and the current size would be 1 initially, which is this only 1a. Now at any point, if my current size becomes greater than size, I'll just return int max. If it becomes equal to current size, I can just return the number of steps, which is my answer. After this, I have two possible cases. Either I just add whatever is present in my clipboard, and then the steps would be just incremented by 1, and the clipboard won't change, so the size of the copy size would remain same. And the other one is I just copy everything and paste it back, so the current size would be doubled, and the number of steps which I took was answer plus 2. So the previous steps plus 2, since first I copy everything and then paste it back. And now my clipboard would become the current size or the previous iteration size since I copied everything here. So these two are the two recursive cases, and then I just have to return the minimum out of these two.
Well,
this is,
how come it becomes the current size in the second eighth one?
This is the case. So if A is present, and in my clipboard, if only one A is present. So if I need here the string of length 4, I can just copy everything here. So if I copy everything in my clipboard, the size would become the size of the string itself. And then I can just paste it back.
But does it not become twice in that case?
And clipboard will become 3.
Clipboard will become the size of this string.
Initially, clipboard was having only single A, right?
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, so the clipboard size would become the current size, and the current size would be twice because first we copy the current size and then paste it back. And then we just need to return the minimum out of these two occurrences or the number of steps.
Right. Okay, this is good. So you are actually, because the two operations are, you are copying and pasting for the second one.
Yeah.
And the first one, you are just pasting whatever is in the clipboard on line 7.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Now, so there would be some repeating sub problems here. So since only these two factors are changing, which is the current size and the copy size, we can further optimize our complexity by memoizing these two variables in another matrix. Then this would be similar to the dynamic programming approach.
Yeah, but if you do that, it might increase your time to some extent. Not huge, but to some extent, yeah, it increases. I don't know why. In fact, it's better not do memoization.
Yeah, this is why even this simple recursive solution passed in LeetCode.
Yeah.
Even after the size of the constraint is at most 1,000.
Makes sense.
So there is another approach which they have mentioned in LeetCode, where so after the string is finally constructed, the operations which so if we write the operations, it would be something like copy. Then this would be either paste, then paste. So whatever we copied, we are just pasting. Then we copied everything. Then we paste everything back again. And then we copy everything again and then paste it back. So our final string would be something like, so our final string would look something like this if we need the final length. So if we need a length, n length a, then the operation string would look something like this. Now if we break this would be something like first we copy and then paste it, then we copy again. So here we can see the any number which we take, so the n here which they have mentioned is the total number of A's in our string. So any number A can be treated as so A can be treated as the product of its prime divisors, and then if we just multiply the prime divisors, we'll get this value n or the given number. So here we just need to add the prime divisors of the given number and how many times it occurred in our final string. Even we need to keep track of that. So so this is what we have to do, and then the complexity would be reduced by square root of n, because finding prime divisors of n can be done in square root of n time. if we take the most optimal way. So this they have mentioned. So the reason is if we take this process as something as 2, and this process something as 3, and this process something as 7. So if we just product all the numbers, we'll get some number which is 42 here, and this 42 corresponds to whatever length we needed as our final string consisting of only A's.
Yeah.
So this approach they have mentioned specifically in lead code. So this I've implemented.
It's
We can
root
just
of n,
start.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. We can just start with the value 2, since it is the first prime number, and then the total number of times 2 is divisible by. So the number is divisible 2. We can just divide the number by 2 and keep adding whatever the prime number which we are dividing by, and then keep incrementing the count of the number. This will make sure that this loop always run till square root of n times, since most of the prime factors of a given number ranges till square root of n only, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is what is mentioned there, prime factorization, correct?
Yeah.
So
Even
I
the
didn't
topic.
understand they should
Okay.
not have given it just the one approach, right? That was very weird. But I was expecting something like this recursive one, correct? But they
Yeah.
didn't mention it, and they just gave the very, yeah, though it's very optimal one and the most efficient, but usually they don't do it that way, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I think this even getting to this solution is pretty fine here, because
Yeah, yeah.
here if we further try to optimize it, or if we write the iterative one, we can jump to a linear time complexity.
Oh, you mean to say this one, if we convert the iterative way, right? Okay. It will be maximum
Yeah.
of n.
Yeah. Since there is some pattern, if we write the number of operations needed for 1 to 10 or 1 to 15, then we will see there is some general pattern there. So that pattern corresponds to this mathematical expression itself, where we either so this is the iterative one would be just a combination of whatever recursive we took and the mathematical approach we took. So in the iterative one, we can see a general pattern. Like if the number is a factor of some smaller number, then no, so if there is some divisor of a number, we can see that there is a pattern between the total number of operation in that divisor and the current number itself. So in that way, we can just optimize our iterative approach.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So that was good one.
Yeah. So, well, it's the same thing what Abhishek was just mentioning. I mean, the prime factorization one divisor we have two, and as long it is the n is greater than one, right? You just check whether n can be divided by the given divisor or not. If can be divided, then we include it in our steps, right? And we further reduce our number, and you increase the divisor by one,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And at last, return the steps. Yeah. So then we can move to next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like assign cookies. So this is like assume you are an awesome parent and want to give your children some cookies, but you should give child at most one cookie. Each child I has agreed factor g of I, which is the minimum size of a cookie that the child will be content with, and each cookie j is size of sj. If sj is greater than gi, we can assign cookie j to child I, and the child I will be content. Your goal is to maximize the number of content children and output the maximum number. Yeah, so
Okay.
there are two, there are three children and two cookies, right? And these are the greed factors. First, children want 1, second 2, and third 3. And we have only 2 cookies. Since the size is both 1, we can what do you say? You can satisfy his greed only, right? Because the rest of them needs 2 2. Or you can give both of them to this. Only one will be done at any point, right? Either you give one cookie to this fellow, or you give both cookie to this fellow to quench his thirst.
Yeah. So is it like we need to satisfy in case if we had something bigger number in S, right?
Oh,
So do we like if we had a 5 and 6? In that case, like if I come to the last one, the 3, I satisfy his thirst, but then I still have 2 cookies remaining. So
yeah,
can I use that also? I don't think so. They have mentioned it like
yeah.
that, right?
Remaining, you are saying, right? I mean, give 3 to him, and then whatever you are left with 6. I don't
Right.
think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. That is there
It's good to
because
ask him.
whatever is the cookie size and the grid factorization, sorry, the grid factor,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah.
So you just compare for that particular instance and just forget it.
And whatever is
Because
list.
then what I was thinking is why not take whatever you have in the S, accumulate, add everything, okay, and then start giving each and every one from the very beginning of the G, if assuming that they are in order. So you can satisfy more number of
Children.
childrens, but it is not very clearly stated in the problem statement, or I'm missing it. I don't know.
It will become more simple then if remaining we have to give, right? You just sum up all the cookies and children's grade and start giving from beginning. When you give, you reduce that much amount, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. But
But
anyway,
I
this
think,
is this is simpler, so you don't want to make it more simpler. That is what you're trying to say, right? Okay.
yeah, 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 same thing. Like as long as your cookie is less than S, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just try to fulfill him. You took the first one and first try to check with whom you can satisfy. So first word satisfied, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, so you can remove it from your array and you will be left with 2 and 3. Now coming to this one, none of them is lesser than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't satisfy, right? So by that time you'll be over with the array and only one
Mm-hmm.
O of n kind of, right? Like, oh yeah, you can sort, but sorting, okay, it's not mandatory that this cookie should go to one only, right? Yeah, that also makes sense.
It
So
can
I'm
go to
sorting
anyone, yeah, as long
any.
as
Yeah.
you should satisfy the kids with the more greed, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? That is what it looks like.
So what is the criteria? I didn't get the criteria here. So you have 3 kids and you have 2 cookies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the G is the greed, right? Like the third kid wants as a higher grade, higher, he wants to eat everything, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
the second kid wants to have less priority and third kid has low priority, right?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Mm.
Not the priority. I mean, that is his content. Yeah. I mean, with this example, it's like
But
that.
it looks like what he's saying, Praveen is saying, yeah, it looks like it's a priority based,
Yeah,
right?
so the value of the cookie has to be greater than or equal to the greed value if you are considering a particular case.
Yeah. Then only
So
it
in
will
this case,
pass.
the second kid has grade of 2 and we have 2 cookies, right? So if we give it to him, then he will be satisfied.
Yeah.
But
Both
the
the
No,
cookies.
first,
but none of
but
the
the
individual
first,
cookies have value greater than 2 or equal to 2.
oh,
And
individual
we
is only
cannot,
one, right?
yeah, only we can give individual ones. We cannot add the cookie.
Yeah, I have 3 kids. My kids, what they will do is they will send the other 2 kids to outside and they will eat everything.
The more
Well,
strategy.
okay. See, if you go to the explanation, can you scroll a bit down because what Praveen says makes sense now. If you just go in the explanation, can you scroll a bit down, Shashank, please?
Okay.
The
Here.
other way.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. See,
the
now if you see here, what? Sorry, example one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, see what Praveen makes sense, you know. See, even though you have two cookies, since their size in both is 1, you could only make the child whose grade factor is 1 is content. Oh, okay, my bad. I thought we could combine that they were saying. No, no worry, yeah.
Yeah, in the
So you
first
will
paragraph,
always get
line
an
2,
answer. Mm-hmm.
in the first paragraph, line 2, they have specifically mentioned that at most we can give one cookie only in the problem
Mm-hmm.
statement.
Yes.
So you should give each child at most one cookie.
So
Mm-hmm.
second and third kid will never be satisfied. Only the first kid will be satisfied.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Younger. That's why.
But if
So
we
that's
had
the
SS something like 2 and 3, or so 1 and 3, or maybe 2 and 3. So both of these, the last two kids will be satisfied. The first one will remain, he will be starving, right?
Or first also, like if I mean, if you are saying 2 and 3 is there, right? So 2 you can give to first and 3 you can give to second.
No, I
But
think that's not the way. You have to do a priority wise.
Mhm. Who needs the if we got it.
That is what I think, you know. I don't
Like
know. I
these are
didn't
good
look
questions.
in.
Yeah.
Hmm?
There's
And
similar question, like how many kids can you satisfy? It's kind of like knapsack or something, right? Or where you want to satisfy more people with the limited resources.
But
If
that will be the optimum way of doing it. So yeah, then you can explore all the possibilities. So you can use a DP knapsack, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but that
the
would be more complex.
slight variation to this one, if we can,
Mhm.
but out here it's simple actually.
Yeah.
You just want to
yeah,
see, given one cookie, how if the S is 2, then
Mhm.
we can satisfy um 2 and 3, or only 2, right?
Mhm.
Instead of S1, if S is 2, then output is still 1.
yeah.
No, S is
No, it will be
it will
two,
be
I
2.
guess.
Yeah, 2.
Since 1 and 2 would be satisfied.
That is what, yeah.
Can you waste it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
yeah. He
Yeah,
can
you
waste
can
it.
way. In fact, you have to do that. Yeah, that is
That
Yeah,
is
what
what
this
is the
line.
we are
If
talking.
weird thing.
Yeah,
if size of the cookie is greater than the grid size of the children, we can assign cookie J to the children I. So here we can just waste, and if it is greater
Okay,
than
in
the
that case,
grid
yeah,
size.
then the output will be 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what Shashank did was like he sorted both of them,
yeah. Mhm.
right? And then how are you assigning? You're assigning from the highest priority, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just checking, going
No.
through each of the
No,
normal, no priority I'm following. Like first come for FCFS. Like
no, no,
you
you are
check.
following a priority. You are starting from the smallest size and the smallest grid size of the children. So
Okay,
this
by
will make
sorting it.
sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. And this will make sure that we always try to optimize our final answer.
Mhm.
Mm, both
Sorting
should be the same, right? Even if you start from behind, should that or not also satisfy? Because anyway, we know because we have sorted both of them, right? The greed as well as the cookies.
yeah, so smaller
Yeah,
sweet is given to smaller guy. I mean, smaller need, and bigger cookie is given to bigger needs.
yeah. But if we start from the largest cookie size, then this might happen that we skip for a large size of a cookie, we skip some children. But uh, if the size of the cookie is still large and some children which are left have the grid size to be smaller than particular cookie size, then in that case we don't try to take the maximum answer.
Yes.
Hmm. How
But I think
both will be the
both will
same, right?
work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even I think
Because
both will work.
yeah, because I exactly did the reverse way. It goes away, and therefore I thought the priority is more important. But looking at this should also work perfectly, because anyway we are matching the grid as well as the S, right?
Yeah.
So wherever
Yeah.
we see a match, we just eliminate both of them from our collection.
Yeah, so in here, at each of the iteration, we are incrementing the cookie value. But when we start from the largest value, there we will just Then we can just decrement our child value, I guess, and not the cookie value.
Yeah, so if you find a match, then you have to decrement both. If you don't find a match,
Yeah.
then only the
Child.
grid value. Yeah, the
Yeah.
child value. Yeah. That you'll have to do. So here also he's doing like that, right? So whenever he finds a match, he's actually
Yeah.
incrementing both. If he doesn't find a match, only the cookie is being incremented.
Yeah.
Cookie is the child, right? Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
No,
Cookie,
no, no. This is
cookie is
just opposite.
implemented irrespective of match or not match.
Cookie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
cookie
in
will
the
keep
larger
moving.
one,
Mhm.
just decrement the the grid size of the child.
Right. So, but yeah, so because he can waste a cookie because he cannot find anything which is smaller than that, so that
Yeah.
cookie slot is gone, right? Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, in that case, you are actually, it seems to be like you are actually optimally giving everyone everything and you are not wasting, but yeah, you might waste there also. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So both the implementation actually make the thing slightly look at a different perspective always, right? Hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, this
Yeah.
is good. You wanna stop recording?
Yeah. Yeah. Stop it.